Hi, everybody. My name's Brad Broman. I'm the Managing Director of IWSCC, the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada. I want to welcome you to our annual celebration of veteran entrepreneurship, where we share experiences, resources, and friendship. We've always been amazed by the incredible talent of the veteran entrepreneurs that we work with. And really, from IWSCC's perspective, we're here to help channel those hard-earned skills, experience, tenacity, courage, and the work ethic of our suppliers and the people that they support in the community. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. We've got a really good show, and you'll hear a bit more about it going forward. But meanwhile, it's my pleasure to introduce Minister Jill McKnight, Minister of Veteran Affairs in the Federal Government of Canada. Minister McKnight is a newly elected member of Parliament and a member from my home province of British Columbia, and also a alumni of my home university, which is UVic. So we've got something in common there. She's also been a small business owner, and I think that's super important when we begin to understand how we can support some of these veterans as they move and transition from active service into ongoing service in their community. And we'll hear more about that as Evolve goes on today. But right now, I want to pass it over to Minister McKnight. She can talk a little bit more about the amazing things that are happening for veterans that came out in the budget and other places under her jurisdiction. Minister, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. I'm honored to join you to open the 2025 Evolve National Forum for Veteran Entrepreneurship. While we might be meeting virtually, I will start by acknowledging that I'm joining from the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe. These lands have been stewarded since millennia with courage and community. And by recognizing the Indigenous lands we call home, we reaffirm our shared responsibility to walk the path of reconciliation with respect, humility, and purpose. I want to sincerely thank the team of IWSCC, the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada, for organizing this forum and for your continued leadership in empowering veterans across Canada. And to all of you, veteran entrepreneurs, aspiring business leaders, partners, and supporters, thank you for being here. Your presence speaks to a commitment to learn, to grow, and to lead. During your time in service, each of you stood ready to defend Canada, often in complex and uncertain environments. In an era of shifting global economic and security relationships, taking control of your future, owning your mission, and shaping the economy of tomorrow has never been more important. Entrepreneurship is one of the most powerful ways to do exactly that. As entrepreneurs, creating new enterprises, new jobs, and new opportunities in your communities, you are continuing your service to our country. You're strengthening Canada's economic sovereignty and building the businesses that will define our future. As the former owner of 2 small businesses, I can tell you that there are few journeys more challenging and more rewarding. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint at heart. You wear every hat. You take on every risk, and you face the uncertainty, self-doubt, and moments where the path forward isn't clear. But you also know what it means to push through hardship. You know how to adapt when circumstances change. You know how to lead with discipline, accountability, and purpose. You know how to show up for your mission, your team, and yourselves. As veterans, these aren't new skills for you. They're skills you've honed through your service. They're a part of who you are. And that's why veterans make exceptional entrepreneurs. The resilience, grit, teamwork, and mission-first mindset you developed in uniform become incredible advantages in the world of business. The courage you've demonstrated on behalf of Canada becomes the courage you take to risk on a new idea. The adaptability you practiced in the field becomes the creativity to innovate. And the sense of service that shaped your military career becomes the foundation for building something that can strengthen your community, your family, and your future. Your journey from the military to entrepreneurship isn't a departure from your service. It's an evolution of it. From one entrepreneur to another, supporting that evolution is one of my high priorities. Through Canada's National Veteran Employment Strategy, we are bringing government, the private sector, and community partners together to build a more seamless, more empowering transition experience for veterans. We want to ensure you have the tools, networks, and opportunities to thrive, whether you're launching your first idea or scaling a growing company. Through our career transition services, you can access mentorship, learn how to secure funding, build your professional network, and sharpen your entrepreneurship skills. Our education and training benefit provides funding for courses, certifications, workshops, and boot camps that can help turn your vision into a reality. You bring the talent, experience, and the drive. We will work to clear the path. Because when veteran entrepreneurs succeed, Canada succeeds. Our communities become stronger. Innovation accelerates. The values you carried in uniform continue to shape our country for the better. To the partners, organizers, and supporters joining us today, thank you for your leadership. Your commitment opens doors, builds confidence, and creates real and lasting impact in the lives of veterans and their families. And to the entrepreneurs, current and future, I hope you leave this forum with new insights, new connections, and new energy for the road ahead. You've already proven your ability to lead through uncertainty. You've already done hard things. You've served with honor. Now you have the opportunity to build something extraordinary. Your next mission begins today, and I can't wait to see what you create. Merci, and best of luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for joining us today. It's an honor to have you participate and to welcome you here to share in the celebration of Canadian veteran-owned businesses with IWSCC and all of our speakers. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Dirksen, and I'll be your host for the rest of our program today. Today is the third annual Evolve Forum, a presentation brought to you by the IWSCC for the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada. We're Canada's national certifying body and peer group for veteran-owned and disabled-owned businesses. I'd also like to add a special thank you to Bell, our supporting sponsor, for helping us put the event together today. This year, we wanted to focus our energy on the ways that veterans evolve their own communities. So before we begin, I'd also like to thank mine. Today's forum is brought to you by myself, by our managing director, Brad Roman, who you met already, and last but certainly not least, our operations manager, Jennifer McGee, who's supporting us from the chat. Say hi in the chat, Jen. And of course, everyone in our audience today as well. If you have any questions about the IWSCC or you'd like to learn more about us, please reach out to Jen. Our program is jam-packed today with incredible speakers from the IWSCC community and beyond. So while unfortunately we may not have time to answer questions that you might have, we'll be doing our best to facilitate connections and to start conversations with information in the chat and continued conversations after our event. We're proud to welcome you all here today and to share space with some incredible members of our community. So without any more delays, let's meet them. Today's first speaker is a decorated Canadian Armed Forces veteran and the founder of All Around Performance, a veteran-owned leadership development firm specialized in supporting high-risk industries, complex operations, straight trust, accountability, and high performance. Please, everyone, give a warm welcome to our first speaker and today's keynote speaker for the 2025 Evolve Forum, Mr. Justin Yaassoub. Justin, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me and giving me an opportunity to share a little bit about my time transitioning out of the military, and to the people that I know in the chat and friends that have joined. Hello. Thank you for your support. So I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about All Around and maybe a little bit about my experience with the veteran community. So yes, I spent 16 years total in the Canadian Forces and got out from CSOR, the Canadian Special Operations Regiment. And I was a frontline operator and had a great experience being at the front line, and have a lot of respect and value for what the front line does. And as you know, being in that kind of unit, I was probably looked at by CSIS quite a bit because all my information, all my YouTube channels and my books are about terrorist organizations. And as I shifted into the leadership world, my library became a lot about leadership and understanding what it takes to lead, and of course that high performance kind of side of things. So got out and we started a company called All Around Performance. It's not that well, we started off with All Around Consulting and then shifted the term to when we realized we're not really consultants, but we're still want to be in the fight and be there beside the people that we work with and lead. And now it's called All Around Performance because we work quite a bit with athletes as well. So the term All Around is actually connected to our service. It's derived from a term that we use in the Canadian Forces referred to as All Around Security or All Around Defense. And we realized that's more than a tactic to us. It's a philosophy. It's really where leadership and teamwork kind of come together, and where we experience the attributes of empathy, courage, and self-sacrifice. So those are kind of the core elements of our company, and how we try to develop leaders through empathy, courage, and self-sacrifice. And we truly believe that the answer to the 21st century challenge of leadership is inspiring the human connection. So with that, you know, we do have a creed, and we are hardened by adversity, and like many veterans, but we're softened by humanity. And we believe leadership is a sacred responsibility, not a position, but a posture. We lead from the front, not for recognition, but for purpose, and not to dominate, but to elevate. So we are a value-based organization that's all veterans and first responders or veteran spouses. And hopefully with our growth, I keep that. We keep that commitment to just bringing veterans and first responders into our organization, where they could come and find new purpose and meaning in supporting others and using their military service to guide and support organizations in high-risk industry. So we do lead with empathy, courage, and self-sacrifice, because we believe strength without compassion is tyranny, and compassion without strength is fragility. So we hold the line really with when others kind of fall back, and we say what must be said, and we do what must be done. And that's an attribute that I learned in my time in the military, and we'd bring that to industry. With that, we are very psychologically informed, you know, got a master's in clinical psychology, and we try to kind of bring in the psychological aspect of leading and leading people, and making sure that their mental health and their identity and their purpose and their meaning is at the forefront of driving performance. It doesn't mean, just because we focus on mental health, it doesn't mean that we can't still drive human performance. And we balance that, and we create harmony with it, and allow people to find their best self through results. So with that, you know, we are legacy driven. Our mission isn't our resume by any means. It's our ripple. We plant trees where we may never sit under. And we build leaders who build leaders, because we truly believe the hive is more important than the bee, but the bee is also crucial for the success of the hive. So that's kind of our standard and our code. And I also get an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about veterans and the importance of veterans transitioning into industry and the business world. And the thing with I appreciate organizations like this and many Canadians that strongly support veterans. With that said, you know, not all veterans are the same or built the same. And often I kind of encourage people to to say veteran, you know, there's over 100 jobs in the Canadian Forces. And with those occupations, you're going to get different people from different commands. And if they're Air Force or Navy or Army or infantry or artillery, whatever that might be, that experience forms a different person. Yes, veterans have a lot of common things together, but we also have a lot of diversity within the veteran community that we could leverage and bring into organizations. And I think what I like to share with people that want to hire veterans is to say, understand what their service was. You might get a special forces veteran that's going to be totally different from somebody coming from the Air Force or whatever, and they bring their different strengths. And by acknowledging that, you could create a better environment for them to thrive in. And with that, like my biggest lesson I would say I learned as a soldier is that the stronger I am personally, is the more I could give. We're big supporters of sacrifice, and I think sacrifice kind of is the if we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, self-actualization is actually realized through sacrifice, sacrificing of self to the greater good. And the better you are, and the stronger you are, and the more the more you spend on yourself and developing yourself, is the more you could give others. So with that, and with our leadership piece, and with our work with the veteran community, our goal is to strengthen the veterans so they could go and give more of themselves to others. And sacrifice, I think, is one of the most selfish things that we could do, because there's a lot of joy when we get to give back and when we get to serve again. And in that transition piece, I would say the most important piece for veterans, if I was to, when I speak to them, is to find that new purpose and meaning in what we're doing. It could be through entrepreneurship, and it definitely could be with working with an organization. And I had to dig deep to kind of really realize what that is. And with that, you know, I was definitely trained to take life, but I was called to give it. And that change in my perspective and my purpose and meaning really changed the entire direction of my life as a founder, as a leader, as a community builder. And you know, we work with veterans that have developed this new philosophy outside of the uniform, and it's an honor to not be our past, but have our past shape our future. So with that, a big part of what we do, we've been really blessed to have organizations have the trust and confidence in us and our love for the front line. And we do, usually the first question we ask is like, do you have a job that could kill you? And if the answer is yes, you're going to really like what we bring forward, because you have a different mindset and a different perspective on the world, and our content really resonates with those people. And for a long time, that was a lot of the industry and energy sector and law enforcement that we worked with. But that phrase actually isn't a job that could kill you, or can you make a decision that could potentially hurt somebody else? Well, that applies to every leader now, because leaders have the ability to really change people's lifestyles and their mindset and how they treat their own children and their family life. So we bring that forward to kind of elevate that leadership conversation with a greater responsibility, that you have the duty and the skill to be able to actually change somebody's life. So how are you going to show up to work with that responsibility? And it's been great working with organizations like that and bringing veterans into our company to share that message and the importance of making sure that the well-being of your men and women. So with that, I would just want to talk a little bit about our community involvement. And I find our community involvement is actually the most therapeutic thing that we could do as an organization. And you know, a lot of the veterans that work with us, they tend to do more free things than paid things, and I have to support that. They call it payment for the soul. So I look at all our community involvement as a therapeutic lens for us to feel like we get to serve again and give back. So one of our biggest ones, we decided to purchase a motel, and we, you know, leading with heart, the goal was to just flip it and kind of make money on it. But we found out there was a homeless organization that supports homelessness, and they were being kicked out of the building that they're in. So we decided to convert our motel into a shelter that actually houses the hard to house, not so much homelessness, but the people that are struggling. And it met exactly what we used to do in the military, which you know, human trafficking is something that I had to deal with. And in Canada, it looks a bit differently. So it's usually mostly around the people that are hard to house, that have to couch surf or live with somebody for favors that they don't want to do instead of payment. So now we're housing 33 people that are hard to house. They're grandparents, they're men, women that are not married, people that can't have a shelter, and it really feels great. So from that, we've been very active in the community and with starting different initiatives. We have another initiative called Operation Restoration, where we get to go out and clean tombstones of the fallen. And it just surprised me that how many people actually want to participate in the act of remembrance. They just need the opportunity. And a lot of the people that do come are veterans or family members of veterans that want to come and support our cause. And now, with our work in industry and the energy sector, we've started something called career uniforms to careers, where we could provide meaningful work for people transitioning out of the military, because again, all of us in our company have realized that purpose and meaning is really what allows us to thrive. So with that, for the organizations in this chat that are looking to hire veterans, one part is hiring them for the skill and what they could bring to your organization. But I think a really important part is also to talk about inclusivity and diversity. It's like with that comes acceptance. What culture? How are you creating a culture or shaping a culture that will allow a veteran to feel like they belong in your organization? And a veteran is somebody that loves to serve, loves to challenge, and likes to make the organization or the space that they're in a lot better. And do they have an opportunity to speak up and share their voice and be able to contribute from a leadership perspective? And this goes a lot to the NCM structure. Coming out of the military as a corporal or a master corporal or a sergeant, and then starting at the bottom of a new organization. Are we respecting the leadership potential and ability and the problem solving and the planning that veteran kind of brings, and how could we incorporate that into our organization to change frameworks and support after action reviews or pre-task briefings or three-way communication? There's so many skills that veterans learn that could go beyond the current work that they're doing, and I find organizations that leverage that tend to create the best place for veterans to thrive and transition to something that's more meaningful and purposeful beyond their service and their time in uniform. So with that, I'll conclude with, again, just a strong appreciation to if there's vendors in this chat, to say thank you for believing in the veteran mindset and perspective. And I just wanted to share again that not all veterans are the same. It does require a conversation to understand their skill and their perspective and their lived experience in the military and what they face and what they didn't face, and how we could incorporate that in the team. So I would say veterans are really, really good at building teams. And I'm a strong believer, and our company follows this philosophy where we elevate the individual. And by elevating the individual, we then elevate the team. And by elevating the team, that by itself is going to elevate the organization. So our focus is usually on individual and team. And I find a lot of the veterans that we bring into our company have the same mindset. And by elevating teams, we could really change how the culture of organizations and to see, a lot of the success that they're kind of looking for. So with that, thank you very much for having me, and more than happy to answer questions or connect in the future if you're looking for it.
Thanks so much, Justin, for being a part of today's event. For our folks in the audience who want to reach out and connect with Justin, please, again, have a chat with our wonderful Jennifer McGee, who's in the chat room with you. She can support your conversations, help answer questions, and set up further conversations with all of our speakers today, including Justin. Justin, I want to thank you especially for your message of empathy and of understanding. IWSCC was founded to support veteran-owned and disabled-owned businesses, in great part because the unique qualities of lived experience help contribute to great businesses. But just like you said, that doesn't mean that all solutions are best for everyone. And instead, that fact that everyone's experience, even if they have maybe shared a career path, is unique. And so that creates unique ideas, it creates unique communities, and it creates unique opportunities. So I hope our forum today can help support some of the folks in the audience, connect with a little bit more information. And I hope we can do you justice by continuing to support the veteran-owned community here in Canada. So Justin, thanks again so much for joining us today. Our next speaker's journey in the Canadian Armed Forces and onto entrepreneurship began as early as high school. He's since leveraged his military experience to found several businesses, including the certified veteran and disability owned procurement firm Stone Procurement Incorporated. So, here to share his experience today, I'd like everyone to please give a warm welcome to Mr. Igli Xhango, the founder and owner of Stone Procurement Inc. Igli, thanks so much for being a part of the forum today.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for inviting me to the IWSCC Evolve Forum. I'm honored to be here. And yeah, my name is Igli Xhango. I'm a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces, and I'm currently the director of Stone Procurement. I'm not as good at speaking off the cuff as Justin, so I do have a little bit of a speech prepared. When I look at the theme for this year for evolving communities, it really resonates with me. For a lot of us that have served, leaving the military isn't really just changing jobs. I think that a big part of it is taking a very specific set of skills, some like Justin's that are formed in a very, very rigid environment, and some like mine that are formed in an office, and evolving them to build something new in the civilian world. I want to share with you guys today my story, pretty much a look into the lessons that I learned while in uniform and how those lessons helped build some of the businesses that I run today. My journey, as Alex said, started off in high school with a co-op program to join the Canadian Armed Forces in the reserve side. I started with the Lawrence Scots Regiment out of Brampton, Ontario, and my trade at the time was called resource management support. Early on, I had the unique opportunity to deploy to the Canadian Arctic. Specifically, it was to Eureka and then Alert Nunavut. I was there as a general duty helper for the kitchen side, but due to having some construction experience, I got to also help out all around the base there, including with the linemen of replacing solar panels on some of our satellites there. At the same time, assisting with the administration and learning some pretty important lessons in logistics side. Working with the chief cook into it, I got to learn how he was preparing and planning everything for months in advance during our time there. Continuing on, the experience and some of the lessons that I learned there in the Arctic of how important the logistics was critical. And it is one of the skills that I've been able to continue and to bring on to my business experience. Basic training had taught me a lot of the discipline, while especially getting straight out of high school and going into a career that required so much focus and so much attention to detail for everything. It was very eye-opening. Being in the Arctic, again, going back into it, I learned that you need to have a lot of backups prepared and you need to be ready to pivot at a moment's notice whenever the environment changes. My trade training in resource management support gave me the technical backbone of what I do now. I learned the fundamentals of human resource administration. I learned fundamentals of financial management, personnel support, and general corporate administration. I had to learn how to read, understand, and apply complex CAF policies, as well as policies from Treasury Board to help serving members with their pay, their claims, their records, even their wills, their next of kins, and a lot of their admin paperwork. From Lawrence Scots, I moved on to the 4th Canadian Division Training Center, which taught me essentially the most skills that I'm now using towards stone procurement. I got to work within their operations section, doing a lot of the administration as well as helping coordinate. I helped coordinate the regional summer training for reserve students that were just coming into the military. This involved everything from onboarding student records to some of the heavy lifting of logistics procurement, including working with the base supply depot for arranging catering, arranging transportation between the different reserve units to the Meaford base, and coordinating supplies again with the base supply depot for the new soldiers. Once my contract ended at 4th Division or 4th Canadian Division Training Center in Meaford, I transitioned to 32 Canadian Brigade headquarters. From there, I focused heavily on HR administration, supporting domestic operations like the Muskoka floods, ice storms, and anything that kind of came to the headquarters. During my 6 years at 32 Canadian Brigade headquarters, I also supported international operations, including Operation Unifier, which I eventually deployed to in 2018. Throughout my time on Operation Unifier in Ukraine, my work was heavily focused on pay, travel bookings, claims processing, as well as helping out the ops team with as well as helping out the ops team with securing housing, rental vehicles for members that were working away from base and scattered throughout the country. My deployment in Ukraine showed me quite a lot of how much work and how much logistics really matters towards getting a mission completed and for a mission to be successful. If you can't feed the troops or if you can't house them, it makes it very difficult for them to be able to do their job. Transitioning out into the military. My transition out of the military section into the civilian sector wasn't exactly a straight line. I released from the Canadian Forces on August 1st, 2022, but my entrepreneurial pivot started in 2019 with a company called Wrench and Hammer that I was reaching out to real estate agents, offering to do any handyman work on my off time and to help them prep their homes before their showings. It was simple hands-on work that I already had experience from and that I enjoyed. By August of 2019, I ended up teaming up with one of my best friends from middle school to open up First Health Supplements. We used a lot of my military experience, specifically in admin, financial management, and the procurement skills to open up a physical store across from Woodbine Mall in Toronto. Unfortunately for us, the timing that we opened First Health Supplements coincided directly with COVID lockdowns being announced. We went from having 50 to 100 people coming into the store daily to immediately zero, and realized that we have to pivot very, very quickly. Luckily, everybody else was now not going into work and was online on their phones, and it allowed us. This is where that lesson of military adaptability kicked in. We figured out that we couldn't just stay a physical store, so First Health transitioned into an e-commerce retail store. We started selling fitness apparel online all across North America, focusing heavily on social media ads and focusing heavily on providing a quicker turnaround than the usual dropship companies that were coming up. We managed to grow the company during the 2 years of COVID from a small supplement store that you kind of see in one of the photos. It got taken over and turned into a order fulfillment center. That ended up being too small, and we eventually grew into a distribution center, adding a warehouse into our company. As the distribution center grew, we found that we were having a lot of trouble with doing a lot of our advertising by going to do our photo shoots at different fitness clubs. We ended up essentially getting kicked out of some of the fitness clubs because they wouldn't allow filming. This transitioned into us going, well, if we can't film somewhere else, then we'll just build our own. Eventually adding on First Health Club, which is a fitness club out of Mississauga. We designed this club with a dual purpose to serve as a studio for us to record our content for the apparel side, as well as also make it a safe workspace and go into the niche of allowing content creators and fitness creators to come in, train, as well as to film. At the same time as building the fitness club, after a motorcycle trip across country with one of my friends, we started really thinking about motorcycling, e-biking, and just this kind of not new technology, but a new attraction that had started showing up around Canada. So we put together a company called Dio. Dio was focused and still is focused on building custom e-bikes. We build custom battery packs for people that are looking to do conversions from motorcycle to e-bikes. And lately we've started getting into building small scale drones, similar to DJIs, as well as larger scale within a couple of feet length for agricultural work or surveying work. Through Indio, we were actually ended up winning first place for our design. If somebody can see the e-bike on there. We won first place at the Canadian Motorcycle Show in both 2023 and 2025 for the design and the innovation of having all of the equipment stored inside a motorcycle tank and having the entire bike to be flawless. Okay, and then my latest venture is Stone Procurement. This is the one that is the most relevant and that I found I've been able to use most of my military skills towards. In November of 2024, about a year now, I started Stone Procurement with my wife. Fun fact, we actually ended up naming the company after our cat Stone. The idea for opening up Stone Procurement came to me while I was running First Health Clubs. We established connections with fitness equipment manufacturers, and I remembered something from while living on base and working on base that a lot of the equipment would be torn up and be a little bit crappy, it'd be a little bit old. And I remembered how much I and other soldiers would be complaining about it. So I realized that I had a lot of the procurement experience from the military side, and now I had some of the entrepreneurial skills, and I had the supplier connections from the private sector to bring them together. The mission for me at that point became clear. I would be providing better equipment at a better price to both government and private companies. Next slide there. I'll be honest about the learning curve on the Stone Procurement side. It was pretty deep. My first tender that I bid on ended up being to supply CFB Edmonton with fitness equipment. Through a debrief, I found out that I had the better pricing, but I ended up missing a very small detail for one of the treadmills and got disqualified on the technical specification. This reinforced a lot of the small details matter and paying attention to everything that I learned throughout my 10 years of service in the Canadian Forces. It was a hard lesson to learn, but it was a very, very valuable one. Since then, for Stone Procurement, we've kept moving and kept applying to more tenders. one of my ongoing private tenders right now is assessing a Toronto condominiums fitness facility to re-outfit it with new equipment that is specifically friendly towards people with disabilities and makes it a little bit easier for them to engage and take care of their fitness. Beyond business, a big rewarding part of my transition between the military to civilian side has been to give back. Through First Health, we've been able to support a few causes that have been close to my heart. A big one of this was the Movember movement. This was deeply personal as we dedicated to one of my closest friends from the Canadian Forces and my trench buddy, Mark Wilson, that passed away in 2021. We were able to raise funds through rucksack marches and keeping the military tradition alive for a good cause. Through First Health, we were also able to support the Canadian Red Cross, UNHCR Canada, as well as Plastic Oceans to promote the conservation and cleanup of Canadian waters. Of course, being a veteran, we always support our own, and at First Health Club, we offer some pretty large discounts to veterans and any emergency service personnel that would like to use our fitness club. Furthermore, due to personal injuries that I sustained during my service, I've become very familiar with the Veteran Affairs policies. I now spend quite a lot of my time reading and going over the policies and helping other retired members navigate the system to ensure that they get access to the benefits that are available to them. I'm also part of the Veteran Peer Education Network, where we review applications for veterans before they submit them to ensure that they have the best chance of success and get the best help that they need for their injuries. To wrap up, my journey from the Canadian Armed Forces as a resource management support clerk and human resources administrator to now leading First Health apparel, First Health fitness clubs, storm procurement, and DO has been a very rewarding but very challenging one. I'm grateful for my experience in the military, of all the skills that I've learned, and to be able to apply all of these towards my transition out of it. I'm very happy to help anybody that's looking to do business with the Canadian government or anyone who has who has any questions in regards to veteran affairs, whether they have any injuries or even just talking about their service and what they need from Veteran Affairs or what they need in their transition to civilian life. Please reach out to me at stormprocurementinc@gmail.com. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Igli. We appreciate you being here with us today and sharing your story. I think two things I really want to highlight as well is maybe the relationship between military service to a second career or to entrepreneurship can seem a little like a binary relationship. I started my second career and I dove into becoming a business owner. And that's the case for some folks, but tying back to Justin's message earlier that everyone's story is different. It's incredible to hear and to learn more about your story, where you have started several businesses, you've had several different ideas, and so you've had a lot of different directions that you've gone in and new skills that you've gained as well since retiring from the military, as well as all opportunities that benefit from your experience there. And the second thing that I think is really meaningful is so many of these ideas and these businesses you founded were founded not just by yourself. It was founded with a friend. It was founded with a colleague, and it goes to show that businesses, themselves are communities, and they give back to their communities with their good ideas by filling gaps or just by creating value for Canadians from coast to coast. So thanks so much again for sharing your experience and helping me learn a little bit more about your history too.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it.
Well, the IWSCC community is always growing, with business owners like Justin and Igli joining us as recently as this year. Our next speaker, however, is one of IWSCC's earliest allies, and we're thrilled to have him join us today. Excuse me. His experience in the Canadian Armed Forces, as well as serving as an intelligence officer in the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, or CSIS, has contributed directly to the expert advice delivered by his firm, the Kirsch Consulting Group. He's here to share some of that expert advice and experience with us today at Evolve. So please, everyone, welcome Mr. Andrew Kirsch. Andrew, thanks so much for being a part of the IWSCC community for so many years and for being here with us today at Evolve.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being invited to speak. I didn't realize I guess I must be one of the earlier folks. Yeah, it's great to see it doing so well
Time
and being a
flies.
part of another. Well, and it's like growing and being a part of another event. I'm happy to be here and support the community that has supported me, as I'm going to talk about, and that's why I think it's important, as I said, to be a part of this group. Really. So I'll tell a bit about myself, maybe, and I will maybe tell my story about how I came to join the military and CSIS. I said I spent just under 10 years as an intelligence officer with the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. I was also a reservist. It was not something I thought I would get into or be growing up. I'm from Toronto. I'm Canadian. I was in the U.S. And happened to be studying there. And in 2001, when the bombs went off, on 9/11, and I graduated from university. I moved to London, England, and I was living there. And I was there in 2005, working in finance when there was another terrorist attack in July 7th. For those who are on the call, remember that. And this was really, I call it kind of an age of terrorism. We had the Spanish train derailment and barracks bombings, and I was sitting at my desk working for a bank, and I thought. I wish I could say a cool story about how somebody, I was recruited out of graduate school, or somebody threw a pillowcase over my head and said, Andrew, we need you. But my journey to be a spy really started with a Google search. And I said, how do I become a Canadian spy? Or does Canada even have spies? And during that time in London, I also did a tour of the Juno beaches. I went over to France. And of course, there are great monuments to Canadians who had served and landed at Juno Beach. And so I moved back to Canada, and I signed up to be an intelligence officer with CSIS, and joined the reserves of the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada, and then the Cameron Highlanders when I was posted to Ottawa for work. And I was really part of a generation of people who, in my case, ran away and joined the circus, signed up to serve, and who wanted to be a part of it and wanted to get involved and serve our country. I did this for 10 years. I was at CSIS for about 10 years. I was in the reserves for around the same amount, about 70 years. And then I left. And I think it's just as important to talk about why someone leaves this career. And I always say, the work didn't change, I did. And I joined CSIS to serve. And I served, and I greatly appreciated that service, but I got married, and then I had a child, and my priorities shifted a little bit, right? It was the job I was doing, our special operations unit. I was breaking into homes, planting technical surveillance equipment. I was doing all these cool things that someone runs away to join CSIS to do. And I would come home to a baby and my wife, who was worried about me going out at night. And they would hand me a really cool job to do. And I'd say, the number of hours that are going to go into this, it stopped losing its excitement. And I didn't want to move back to Ottawa. And I realized, maybe there are other ways to serve. And the reserve's the same thing. Maybe there are other ways to serve. And that's really one of the wonderful things about being a veteran is being able to contribute, serve in that way. And one of the challenges, or I want to make sure that I did in entrepreneurial life, is to find continued ways to serve. And we've heard about that in the previous speakers, that desire to continue and make that a part of your life, the entrepreneurial life. I know there's some veterans on the call and maybe thinking about an entrepreneurial journey. And I get a lot of questions from young people who want to join CSIS, or people want to leave and go from public to private life. And I always ask them two questions. These are very rhetorical questions I will ask here that no one's able to answer because of, but I say, how do you want to spend your day? And as a CSIS intelligence officer, that was either as an analyst, reading reports, reading large volumes of information, digesting that, writing memos, summarizing that into intelligence briefs. That was kind of the analyst role and function. And the other one was being a field investigator, and that was going out, knocking on doors, talking to people, having coffees and conversations with strangers. And both have their comforts of being behind a computer, or people giving you work, and excitement of going out knocking on doors and never knowing who's on the other side of that door. When you think about what you're going to do with your life, I always say, what do you want to do? How do you want to spend your day? And the other question is, what do you look at in your spare time? I was working in finance. I was studying to be a financial advisor. And at lunchtime, I was reading about Canadian troop movements going from, going down to Kandahar and going down south, and what was happening in Afghanistan. And you realize that if you can align your job with your interests, that you will, be better at your job. And when I was sitting at my desk at CSIS, I was stopped reading about terrorism and started reading about other things, and realized maybe that was another indication it was time to go. I told my wife I was done with security and done with government, and I left CSIS, and I ended up working for the province in the office of the provincial security advisor. And she said, "I thought you said you were done with security and government." I said, "It's a totally different level of government." But ultimately realized that I was and wanted to get out. And that's why, as I said, I left to do my own thing. So the challenge of entrepreneurship, I left in 2019. And if I had known COVID was coming, as the previous speaker said, maybe I would have stayed in government a few more years, but we don't always have the luxury of knowing what's coming around the corner. I wrote a book, if you can see it, I Was Never Here, about my time at CSIS. That was kind of a bit of a COVID project. And as I said, I used to break into places, and now we help keep people out. And my consulting firm helps organizations, governments, crown corporations, private organizations, and private clients mitigate the same vulnerabilities that I used to exploit in my security, offensive security career with CSIS. And my plan was to go to large security companies, residential security companies that were already offering security to organizations of people, and say, I bet you that you have people come to you and ask you for things that you don't have people on staff that they can do. And wouldn't it be great to have an ex-intelligence officer who can support you? And they said, yes, that would be great. You have unique skills and experiences, and we will kind of send some clients your way under our banner, and you can work with us. And then eventually, people started coming to me directly, and that's how we started to grow a bit of a business. And I would use my network of people and skills that developed to service it. Being an entrepreneur, being a sole practitioner is a challenge. You do the business development, you serve projects, you do administration while you're looking for the next project, and that can be difficult. And then there comes a magic point where maybe it's time to bring other people in, and if that's something that's of interest, and for me it was, and started hiring folks. Kirsch Consulting Group for those looking for security services. There's physical and cybersecurity advisory services. This includes technical surveillance, countermeasures, bug sweeps. I used to plant these things. I know where to look. Investigations and due diligence. And based on the book, which I think you can see behind me, some keynote speaking and training. The thing about entrepreneurship, sometimes when you're part of a big organization like the military and CSIS, the thing you crave the most is this freedom and ownership of your time. And that can also be one of the biggest fears and challenges. When I started out, it was, what do I do tomorrow? And then it was, what do we do next week? What does next month look like? And then you get clients and business, and that hopefully gets to push out, okay, I know what tomorrow looks like. I know what next week looks like, and maybe I know what next year looks like. I did not set out to work alone, but you can sometimes start alone, but you can't continue alone. Even if you want to be a sole entrepreneur, you need customers, delivery partners, clients, and eventually you're figuring out how do you scale your time How do you want to spend your day? And where do you want to focus your efforts? So I think on that note about it's community. I know Evolve, we're talking about community and what community means to me. You have to recruit, you have to build your network, recruit people. I went to being invisible, working under an alias, to having my face on a book and building a company. I think I might have been the first. If I wasn't the first, I was one of the first few. You join organizations, you find places where you have a network and a community. The military is extremely powerful community to tap into for all sorts of contacts, delivery partners, referrals, resources. There's a community of those who are hustling and grinding away. And you come across these people who are entrepreneurs who know what this what it means to put your name on something, what it means to, have this. My company is called Kirsch Consulting Group, and when they're hiring me, there's no escaping it. They're hiring us, and that is, it's a neat feeling when they come back again. It's a challenge to get people to trust you, give you a chance, and all the people who are doing that going through the same thing. So I encourage you to build that network and build that community. People will be very generous with their time if you ask. So with the time I have left, I wanted to give some advice, things that I've learned. I know those are part of it as well. Give yourself some grace. You will make mistakes. You will wish you did things differently. You will get better. And the thing about getting better is then you realize how you weren't as good before. So it's this double-edged sword. You go, I got it now, but I didn't do that the way I wish I did now. So you have to give yourself some grace. I always joke that I look forward to the project where I didn't learn anything new. And what a wonderful thing if I didn't invent a new template or a new report. But I have not got to that point. I don't know if I will ever get to that point. So you have to give yourself a break when you're starting out. Build your network. Build your network. Have touch points, stay in touch with people. You don't want every time you call someone to be a favor, and because you never also know when it'll come back. We send emails, I send newsletters out. I'm very active on LinkedIn. And it is funny to me, the people that know me very well and know where I work, I'll send an email that says, we do bug sweeps. And they'll say, thanks for reminding me you do bug sweeps. I totally forgot, but it's great I got that email and we need you for a bug sweep. And I said, how do you not know that I do bug sweeps? I've been telling you for years, but they got the email at the right moment. They saw the LinkedIn post. And even if, I get a lot of feedback that says, looks like you're doing great and you're growing and it's great to see you out there active, even to put that out into the world. So people know what you're up to, know what you're doing, know how to find you. And I always say, I want to be the person. It's not a hard sell. If you have a weird challenge, if you have something that come up that you don't know where else to go, you can give me a call. You got an ex-CSIS person who's probably dealt with something weird before. And if I can't help you, I know I want to be the person you call, and I'll find somebody who will. The next, find something that brings you passion, that you're doing, that you're excited about. When I put my kids to bed, I have 2 young children, I get my laptop out and I do work. And it's not because, sometimes it's because I have to, but a lot of times because I'm excited to do it and figure something out and build that template or make that business plan or figure out how to grow. And you kind of have to love the grind a little bit because it is a grind. I wrote a book. I would not recommend anybody write a book if they didn't want to write a book, because that is a real horrific grind. So you have to love it and you have to be into it. So find something that gives you passion, because you own your wins and you own your setbacks. Your time, to veterans, and this came up before, your time has value. We want to give things away. We want to help people out. It's all about service, but just appreciate your time has value. People will pay you for your time. Don't be afraid to assign value to your time and your skills and your experience. People are inspired by your stories. They will pay you to speak. You have valuable skills and capabilities and capacity that's worth something. And I very much early on, I devalued that for myself. And someone said, Andrew, you have to give yourself value, or people won't think it has any value if you don't. And the last thing I'll say, I've timed this very, very well, is Dependability is worth more than you think. And this might sound very strange to people in the military. Showing up on time, being prepared, owning your mistakes, being willing to fix them. People want to work with folks that they trust and can depend on. And you'd be amazed that that is not everybody. That there are people out there who don't return emails timely, that don't own their mistakes. Or if I write something in a report and they say, you know, you got that, great, let me fix it. Let's work on this together. And let's, you know, whatever setback I have, I'm committed to, you know, resolving it. And I think that's why veterans are also very uniquely placed and well placed to be entrepreneurs, because you have that service, dedication, you know, that's been ground. I can't be late. You know, that is the one thing. I'm never late for anything because I'm so afraid of being late from my time, my limited time in the military. But it counts for something. People respect it and value it. So, you know, don't ever think that's not. So good luck to everybody. Please feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. Always happy to help put people together, share my experience, and good luck to you all.
Thanks so much. We value your time, Andrew. Of course, we thank you so much for being here today for our third Evolve Forum. And to link back to things we've talked about so far and the changing experience, I think something that you mentioned that really spoke to me is we've talked a little bit about how businesses build communities. We've talked a little bit about how, you know, change and transition is an important part. And you bring up an important part that, like, as your life changed, so did your goals, so did your values. And so I hope a message that we can share with our audience today too is whether you're considering entrepreneurship, you're considering a new career, maybe you're just considering a new hobby. It's always okay to try new things, and it's always okay to change and to allow yourself to kind of seek out that happiness and to value yourself in that sense too. So that certainly speaks to me as a guy who's had a bit of an ambling career. I've been a little all over the place myself. So thank you again so much for sharing your experience, sharing some lessons that you learned along the way. And we're so glad that we had you here with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, this does bring us to the end of our stories from members of IWSCC's certified veteran-owned business community. The sharing doesn't end there. Before we move on to our next portion, I do want to quickly invite our audience, who I know have already been at it, but again, to share your experience too, whether you're a veteran, a business owner, a resource provider, maybe a military family member, or you're just someone looking for peership and folks to connect with. Let us know in the chat, share your information, and maybe it might be the start of your next conversation and your next evolution. Now, to give you a little bit of fuel to start that evolution, our next guests represent an equally valuable part of why IWSCC started the Evolve Forum in the first place, and that's our allies and peers. IWSCC is just one part of a network of supporters, resource providers, and advisors who want to see more Canadian veteran-owned businesses achieve success. So today, I'm very pleased to welcome two of those organizations to share more information about how they support veteran-owned businesses live with me here at the Evolve Forum. So please, everyone, I'd love to welcome representatives from the Canadian Legacy Project, who operates a business boot camp for veterans, and Startup Help, consultant who provides advice and expertise to underrepresented businesses. So please welcome Tamer Mikhail from Startup Help, Judy McMillan-Evans from the Canadian Legacy Project. Tamer and Judy, thanks so much for being here with me today.
What an honor.
Thanks for having us, Alex.
Yeah, I'm so pleased to have you guys, and thanks so much for joining me today for what I like to call my little resource showcase. I think it's important. The network of support and resources, it's so valuable because while we might not be able to be all things to all people, we might know somebody who can help. So I hope our audience members can learn a little bit about your programming today too. Sure, there are folks in the audience who are really eager to learn about resources that might support them. So let's dive right in with a very simple and straightforward question. For the folks at home, who are you and what do you do? What can you tell us a little bit about your programming? And I'll go ahead and challenge Judy to get us started.
Thank you, Alex. So first, I'll give you a little bit about who I am. I am not a veteran, but I have the wonderful, wonderful honor of leading a business boot camp for Canadian Legacy Project. My basic background and career for the last 50 years has been helping entrepreneurs develop into entrepreneurs. So existing businesses evolving and people who are dreaming about being entrepreneurs. So in 2019, I was approached by Canadian Legacy Project. They are a nonprofit based in Calgary who support veterans in a multitude of ways. So I was leading the entrepreneurship program at Mount Royal University at that point for many, many years. And Canadian Legacy retained Mount Royal to develop a veteran-specific entrepreneur program. Then when COVID happened, it didn't quite fit with the post-secondary environment, so Canadian Legacy retained me to develop an online format that we can now deliver across Canada. So the business bootcamp, developed by Canadian Legacy and supported by Canadian Legacy, is a free program for any veteran and first responder in Canada or their spouses. So it's a 6-week interactive online work at your own pace type of a program. So it's suitable for new entrepreneurs or existing veteran entrepreneurs who maybe started a business and aren't sure if they actually did anything right or did some things right or some things wrong. So there are 3 of us as instructors. We run 4 cohorts per year. They're 6 weeks in length. And they're, as I say, highly interactive. And it's a way to build on the beautiful strength of veterans. And in all the years that I worked in supporting entrepreneurs and training and coaching entrepreneurs, I frankly have never met such powerful strategic thinkers in my life. They, all of you that are on this call and each one of you that's already spoken, you clearly identify how your brains work and how you problem solve and all those things that were totally ingrained in you as in your time serving in the military. Those transferable skills fit beautifully into the world of business. You know how to make plans, you know how to execute plans, you know how to analyze and evaluate what worked, what didn't, and adjust plans. A lot of the population doesn't have that skill. So for me, it's such a wonderful honor to lead this project, to work with the veterans that are forming and already have businesses across this country, and to build. I'm growing every day at the same time that they're growing. So we work on a wonderful team there, as I said, 3 instructors, and we love this work, and we are so, so honored to be able to help entrepreneurs with a military background or a first responder background take their passions in life, build a career around it, build a business, and that aligns with the lifestyle they want. They may want to work part-time. They may want to work full-time. They may have physical challenges. They may have emotional challenges, or they may be whatever stage of life they're at. And as we heard from the previous speakers on this today, entrepreneurship is not just a way, it's not just a career, it's a way of life. So again, we offer 4 cohorts a year, fully online. We cover 4.5 hours of time zone change from one end of this country to the other. And we are here to build a community of entrepreneurs to support each other and explore all the beautiful resources that there are in Canada that we're hearing about here today. So thank you for allowing me to share the Canadian Legacy Project's Business Bootcamp.
Yeah, incredible. It's a powerful program. Some members of the IWSCC community we know are also graduates of the Business Bootcamp. So we know a few folks who have taken those lessons to heart. Tamer, I have the same, maybe simple and straightforward, but powerful question, which is to tell us a little bit about yourself and about Startup Help and how you're building resources and providing resources to support veteran-owned businesses.
Sure. Thanks, Alex, for having us. It's a pleasure to talk to the Canadian veterans. A little bit about myself. I'm an entrepreneur who exited this company in 2022. Tried retiring, it didn't work out, so I wanted to keep myself busy, as every entrepreneur does. What is our organization? So we are a grassroots organization. We're a nonprofit. We're created by real world founders who built companies themselves and want to give back. We started Startup Help because we saw that many people have stronger leadership skill disciplines, that the business world might not understand the challenges they might face. We believe that every founder deserves the respect for their idea and journey. We don't teach from textbooks. We bring life experience of being entrepreneurs ourselves, and that makes the guidance practical, grounded, and real. In terms of our work, we provide hands-on business building support, not theory, but actual steps, structure, strategies, everything you need to build a successful business from idea to growth to exit. We provide seminars and workshops on a bi-weekly basis, 16-week incubation program, one-on-one mentorship, mental health support, pitch competition, as well as what's most important for entrepreneurs is funding and financial support. Our goal is to become a partner in every entrepreneur's journey.
Thanks very much, Tamer. I think like a commonality I can already see is the desire to be part of kind of the comprehensive journey for folks. Tamer, I'll challenge you to continue along a little bit. We'll unpack some of your programming. Both you and Judy have talked a bit about sort of the length of programs. But another question I have that I always think is important is when it comes to accessing the program or accessing your resources, are there any limitations? Are there any costs to access your programming or your workshops or anything like that if I'm a veteran or a service, a first responder or a military family member? Sorry, Tamer, just to clarify, I'll challenge you to. We'll switch things around, and I'll challenge you to answer first. So, is there a cost to access your programming or requirements or limitations?
We pride on ourselves on being exclusive. We don't charge for any of our programming. It's completely free to anybody who needs it or thinks that they need it. In terms of access, you can reach out on our website, but you can also send us an email to info@startuphelp.ca, or you can reach out directly to myself. More than happy to help.
Absolutely. And Judy, I'll pass the question along to you as well. Are there any limitations, requirements, or costs to access the Business Bootcamp or the Canadian Legacy Project's other resources?
Great question. There are no costs. And Canadian Legacy is fully supported by donations. At this point, no government or veteran affairs funding. So the Business Bootcamp is free, and all of the programs that Canadian Legacy has are free. So to explore what Canadian Legacy offers as an organization is canadianlegacy.org. And to explore the Business Bootcamp, it's vetbootcamp.ca. And they can contact me through that, either one of those websites, and the details of the program are there. So it's, I would see that we would work beautifully in conjunction with Startup, as the Vet Bootcamp is an intense 6-week learning program, but you and I, we all know on this call that entrepreneurship is not a 6-week window. It takes a lifetime to learn how to be a successful entrepreneur, and everything is evolving and shifting at all times. So it's wonderful to meet you, Tamer, and to know that you're here, and for us and our veterans. Everybody on this call is part of the community of entrepreneur development. Thank you.
I agree, Judy. I think it'd be a great idea to be able to kind of partner up to be able to serve our veterans. Most of our organizations are designed to provide solutions, and I think every person that's in this conversation has gone through their own specific journey and with their own challenges. So, yeah, I mean, having all those resources in place is only designed to help people.
Fantastic. Love to see even now in this conversation, helping make new connections really is such a big part of why Evolve was founded in the first place. So happy to help introduce the two of you to each other a little better. We only have so much time to unpack programming, and of course, there's always a desire to learn more. But one more important question I always like to ask fellow resource providers is we've talked about sort of the length of programs and how to access them. My wonderful colleague Jen in the chat will help share those links to your website so folks can learn more and get that conversation started. Judy, I'll ask you to, we'll switch around again. I'll ask you to go first. If someone, I'm a participant in the business bootcamp, what can I expect to come out of the program with, or can you help paint me a picture, understand a little better by the time I'm finished a cohort of the business bootcamp? What do I leave with, or what do I get to take home with me?
Great question. So we know that planning a business and managing a business involves three key areas: being able to deliver on the product or service, being able to sell it, and being able to look after the money. So that's how our program is broken down, is between those three key components. And at the end of the program, in order to graduate from the business boot camp, you have to have completed a business model canvas, so a great planning tool that's suitable for any stage of business, and present it to your peers and gain peer feedback, and which then, of course, creates a strong relationship between everybody in the cohort, because we know we start doing business with each other once we understand who else is in the cohort. So learning about the product or service and how to deliver it, learning about how to market and reach your market, learning how to manage the money, and learning how to plan it within a tool that can be used over and over again. So that's primarily the focus of the business boot camp, is and transitioning that beautiful strategic thinking into the real world business. Well, thanks for asking the question, Ellen.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tamer, I'll ask the same question of you to help our audience members understand a little better. If I were to access Startup Help's resources or your workshops, you mentioned your 16-week program, what would I expect to finish the program with, or get to take home with me by the end of it?
Sure. First, I'd like to say that the first thing that we start with is matching the entrepreneur with another entrepreneur that went through this journey. So their job is to be able to kind of guide them throughout their whole journey. They become more of a friend, designed to be able to take your business to the next step. What they do is they also figure out what is it that you need. They look at what you've done, what you've accomplished. They give you the real life experience, but they also come to us and say, hey, we need to help them with A, B, C, and D. In terms of what our services, beside our seminars and workshops, we're designed to be able to cover everything from, our first seminar is, are you ready to become an entrepreneur? Second one is your idea ready to become an entrepreneur. Sometimes, we need to be able to get reality checks. From there, we go everything for sales and marketing, financing, patent protection if you need it, operational strategy, basically everything that you need to be able to run your business. In terms of what else we provide what you're supposed to be getting out of it is hands-on help developing their business model, market research, financial planning. We help you build your business plan, professional pitch deck, provide funding, like I mentioned. We also provide sales support, because a lot of the times it's all about connections. So matching people with different organizations or people that might help them with their business. And ongoing mentorship. We don't have limitation in terms of time. It's all about providing the help when people need it and being inclusive.
Great. Thanks for helping us understand a little better, Tamer. And I hope, although our time is a little limited, I always do wish I had more time for these conversations. Maybe it's about time we start talking about making the Evolve Forum a little bit longer for next year. So many great peers, allies, and programs to share. But I just want to take an opportunity to thank the both of you again. I hope for our audience members, we've helped provide a little bit of a canvas of programs that I'm sure are rich with even more detail, support, and opportunities. But of course, again, that contact information, we'll help put that in the chat. Or if anyone's ever unsure, you can always reach out to IWSCC as well at info@iwscc.ca. And we're happy to help make those connections to not just to Tamer and Judy, but to all of our speakers today and to our community. With a few more presentations and a few more resources that we'd like to share, just one last thank you to Tamer and to Judy for joining us today. The life of a resource provider, of course, yes. And thanks, Judy.
Pleasure.
The life of a resource provider can be a bit of a jumble, as you can see. And much like an entrepreneur, it can be very busy and unpredictable. It's really important that we support our peers too. And this year, IWSCC is happy to bring 2 more presentations about programs that might help you or folks who might be catching this as a recording in the future as well. First, we'll hear from Garrick Apollon and Mission Entrepreneur, course provided by the University of Ottawa's Professional Development Institute. And then after, we'll do another presentation from Elizabeth Nicholas about the HERCS program, an entrepreneurship resource that's built for military families and military spouses, as well as service members, to help support a broader slice of the veteran community. So without further ado, I feel like I've always wanted to say that. Let's roll the clips.
Thank you, Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada, IWSCC, for inviting me at the 2025 Evolve Forum. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Garrick Apollon. I am a professor at the Faculty of Law at the University of Ottawa. I also teach at the Telfer School of Management, and I am a lawyer entrepreneur and the proud program director of Mission Entrepreneur at the University of Ottawa Professional Development Institute, the first and Canada's only university certification program specifically designed for veterans. Today, the focus of 2025 Evolve Forum is how veterans drive Canada's evolving communities. Veterans are community builders. Military service is community service at scale. It's about discipline, teamwork, and mission focus. Those skills continues after the uniform. Veterans build businesses that strengthen local economies. Their ventures often center on purpose, inclusion, and giving back. They are mission-driven. This is in perfect alignment with the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program for Veterans at the University of Ottawa. At the University of Ottawa Professional Development Institute, our Veteran Entrepreneurship Program is built around one core principle, that military service continues through entrepreneurship. We equip veterans with practical training in strategy, finance, digital transformation, legal literacy, and innovation. The goal is to help veterans turn their lived experience into sustainable, community-driven businesses. In closing remarks, I want us today to celebrate veteran entrepreneurs who are helping Canada. They're helping our country. We're helping Canadian communities evolve economically, socially, technologically. Thank you to the Inclusive Workplace and Supply Council of Canada for having me today for this short message. You'll receive a brochure with all the information about Mission Entrepreneur. Please send it to your network, share, and we are all invited to join our program. Merci beaucoup. Au plaisir. Garrick, Apollon.
Hello, and thanks to the viewers for being here today. I'm so excited to present to you. My name is Liz. I'm going to give you a little bit background about myself and about the Herx. So other than being a plane, let me explain to you exactly what the Herx is, and I'm excited to join you. I am a proud staff of the Trenton Military Family Resource Center for, I probably shouldn't say because it makes me look a little older, but almost 20 years, believe it or not. And I love the work that we do to support our military families. So let me take you for a quick walkthrough. Believe it or not, there is 32 MFRCs that are across Canada, and there's other CMFRCs or Canadian Military Family Resource Centers located around the world in key areas where military families would be. Most MFRCs are independently nonprofit, and we were actually incorporated in 1992, a little bit before I got there. Well, more than a little bit, but anyways, we have 3 locations, and I operate virtually and as well as out of the Trenton location. These are a whole variety of things that our Military Family Resource Center does for our community, as well as a lot of these programs will be available at other MFRCs too. So if you know anyone who's a part of the military community, remind them to check into their MFRCs. My program runs out of the Employment and Education department or portion of the MFRC. So who the heck am I? Well, you'll notice my detective hat. Yes. My name is Elizabeth Nicholas, but I prefer Liz. And I am a career specialist. My title is Virtual Employment and Education Specialist. You'll notice the because sometimes a specialist feels a little big, but I love what I do. I have a variety of designations. I studied in HR. I love HR, but I love working with those that are seeking work or to start their own business even more. So I actually went back and got my certification as a career practitioner. So my CCDP, and I won't bore you with all of the acronyms. You can read it through. I love creating programs. I started in, I want to say 2009-10 with the Herx and with Portfolio, and I was lucky enough to take the Herx virtual. So hence my title, Virtual Employment and Education Specialist, again with the Anyways, sometimes it's hard to call yourself a specialist, but I love the work I do, and I get to work with families over Zoom like this, offering a whole variety of workshops, including the Herx. So I'll fill you in on that. So the Herx actually is funded through MFS. I will flip back quickly just to explain all of these acronyms because I know in the military we do that very well. So looking at Military Family Services, I partner with them and with some funds through BMO, which is the bank of that the CAF is affiliated with. And prior to that, I've had other banks come on with the Herx as well to just help to provide some specialty advice around finance for small business. So it's been great. I'm going to give you a quick look at the Herx. So the Herx stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Reach Complete Success. I used to, my role primarily is for military and veteran spouses, but I'm always welcoming military members, veterans, those that are medically releasing, etc., into the programs when I can as well. The program I used to run was a small business symposium, and I was having problems getting civilians in. I was excited to share what the spouses and people were doing that wanted to create their own businesses. And I reached out to Loyalist College. I don't know if you know about SIFE or Enactus, but if you don't, I want you to go look it up because they're everywhere. And that group came up with the Hercs. In 2000, they won a whole variety of programs, and it was a little bitsy here and there. And then it went to 2 full days. 2015, MFS, so Military Family Services, allowed me to take it virtual online. We were using WebEx at the time. And I took it over. I revamped a lot of it because I never teach or share what I don't understand. And from there, what our originally in-person session went virtual, and we've been doing it ever since. We usually run a couple sessions in English and at least one in French for our spouses, our military members, our whole community. So again, I feel like I've covered this slide with who do I help. Really, anyone who's part of the military community, I love to welcome them in. I also welcome in small business that want to share their expertise. We have guest speakers that come online and help us out as well. So lots of great information, lots of really good stuff. So what can someone expect and the resources that they are giving? And Alex, I love these questions because I feel like it gives people a great overview, but at the end, I will have my contact information, and I always welcome emails just to connect with people, as well as if you want to connect on LinkedIn. And Alex, I might chase you down to connect with me. You never know. Anyways, I took what we were doing in 2 days, and because it was virtual, you can only sit for so long. And I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to sound like I go right back on myself. We did 3 2-hour sessions, but within the military community and the unique requirements of being a part of, sometimes it's really hard to schedule and make sure that you're available for 3 sessions all in a row. So I decided we'd do Super Saturdays. So kind of check out of our daily roles for Super Saturdays and sign on for, yes, I'm going to tell you 6 hours. But I tell you, people think 6 hours and we all get on and it's like, oh, I'm going to be stuck to my computer for 6 hours. By the time we are rolling it up, people are like, come on, we can't be finished yet. I'm not done. I want more. We cover entrepreneurship. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? How do I know if my ideas are viable? Who's out there to help me? Who other organizations are out there to help me? I did mention finance for small business. We cover marketing. My first love was marketing. It still is. I use it all the time. We get into social media, and then we provide an overview of how to build a business model canvas. So lots of time for networking, some great breakout sessions, because I don't know about you, but I always feel the power belongs to the groups. So nothing that I do is recorded. I always offer they get a manual that is around 100 pages. As we're talking and as people have questions, we actually have monitors in the background taking direct questions from people. If they want other resources, they want other ideas, they will take that down. I will do a huge, usually it's very big, email after the session collecting all of the resources and everything that people had asked for and send that out in an email to them. So it's not about duplicating what's out there. It's about augmenting, but making it specific for our community. So we love to welcome guest speakers. I have a local digital marketing professional that comes on and shares her expertise, and she is amazing. So we love to see her come on. In the past, we've had other people come on too. Because it goes right across Canada, I'm always looking for places or people that are other places other than I'm very Ontario-centric, because that's where I am. We had the Business Development Bank of Canada come on and share their expertise as well too. So there's no fee to join. It is fully funded. The next session we're going to be doing is Saturday, January 24th. This is the link to find out more about it. And again, I will offer you my email as well. So there's lots of great information. Again, we do 3 sessions. Usually we do, I want to say September, October-ish, we have a session. So usually look out for a Saturday there. and then we roll it back to January. So it kind of goes right in line with our portfolio development program, which I just love. And that takes a look at recognizing your prior learning. So if you've had prior learning already, it actually channels that in to build a portfolio that I'm actually focused on helping entrepreneurs build a portfolio that's twofold. So a little bit of a teaser about that. And Alex, if you want the link to that program, I can share it. I'm a bit of an RPL nerd because recognition of prior learning is so important. So why do you want to relearn what you already know? So the twofold for entrepreneurs is one, to see about getting grants or loans on that character piece and showing what you already have. And two is that marketing piece, the piece that you can use to actually market your business and get it out there. And I believe and hopefully I am pretty much on time. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I cannot thank you enough. I look forward to learning more about your organization, Alex, and the great work that you do. I would love the chance to hear from the other speakers that are there. Again, you've got my whole alphabet soup at the end. Certified human resource professional, certified human resource leader. I love HR. CCDP, so certified career development professional, and ChatP is Hope Action Theory. And I just love that work as well, too. So again, my podcast is there for you. I love it. And I'm always welcoming speakers on the podcast. I might chase you down, Alex, you never know. And LinkedIn, I love to hear from people on LinkedIn. And that's it from me. Thank you so much.
So an absolutely huge thank you to both Garrick and to Liz for preparing those presentations, really going above and beyond, again, the busy life of a resource provider, the busy life of an entrepreneur. We're so grateful that they were able to put those together so that we could still share a little bit more information about their programs. So we've heard from members of the IWSCC community and beyond. And now it's time for IWSCC to do some celebrating with the first ever Evolve Awards. These awards include physical trophies, which this year are supplied by ProWorks Engraving and Signs, IWSCC certified business. Please check them out at www.proworks.ca. IWSCC is a national peer resource and networking group, and our 3 awards each recognize a different part of our community. The Community Impact Award, which celebrates our fellow resource providers, supporters, and community builders. Our Corporate Member of the Year Award, which celebrates the large organizations who ally with IWSCC, work with more veteran-owned businesses. And finally, Certified Supplier of the Year Award, which recognizes a member of IWSCC's certified veteran-owned business community. Each award includes 3 nominees, each of which we believe deserve to be celebrated this year, regardless of who's selected as the winner. So I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about them. First, with the Community Impact Award. Our first nominee for the Community Impact Award, which recognizes those community builders, those resource providers, and those peer groups, is VBNI, or the Veteran Business Network Institute. Founded in just the last year, VBNI is a new and exciting community for veterans in business to connect. The group was founded by veterans for veterans, and earlier this year, even as a new group, held its first in-person conference dedicated to veteran entrepreneurship. Our second nominee, Renos for Heroes. Canadian charity, Renos for Heroes strikes at the intersection of IWSCC's 2 communities, veterans and persons with disabilities, by supporting service-injured and service-disabled Canadians through essential home repair, renovation, and building services as well for veterans and military families. Our third nominee this year is the Canadian Veteran Marketplace. The Marketplace is a national platform that empowers veteran-owned businesses and organizations across Canada. With a community of more than 44,000 members, CVM strengthens connections among veterans, their families, and the wider Canadian public. And I'm very proud and pleased to announce that the winner this year of the first ever Evolve Forum Community Impact Award is the Canadian Veteran Marketplace. While it may have started as a humble Facebook group, CVM demonstrates the value of solidarity and community, not only by providing a space for veterans to connect, but by sharing resources, amplifying success stories, promoting events, and circulating information. This incredible hub shows that a desire to come together, to succeed, and to share that success by helping others can create incredible impact. So congratulations to them. And I'm happy to share, we did contact our winners a little early to help them share some remarks and celebrate with them. So I'm happy to share a little message from the CVM team as well. On behalf of the Canadian Veteran Marketplace, we are deeply honored to receive the first ever Evolve Forum Community Impact Award. This recognition is a testament to the strength and resilience of Canada's veteran community and the incredible businesses that make up our network. CVM was built to empower veteran entrepreneurs by creating a trusted space for connection, visibility, and growth. Today, with more than 44,600 members, we continue to champion economic empowerment and amplify veteran voices across the country. Every success story shared, every partnership formed, and every opportunity created reflects the spirit of service and innovation that defines our community. Thank you to IWSCC for acknowledging the impact of this work and for your commitment to inclusivity and diversity in business. Together, we are building a stronger, more connected future for veterans and their families. So thank you again to the Canadian Veteran Marketplace team for your incredible contributions, and congratulations on winning the first ever Community Impact Award. Our second award is our Corporate Member of the Year Award. IWSCC's corporate members invest in our community and connect with us over a shared desire to channel their resources into accelerating the success of veterans in business across Canada. Our first nominee for the award this year is RBC. Nominated for their RBC Salute program, this employee resource group connects service members, veterans, reservists, allies, and their families within their organization together, representing the value of spreading information and providing opportunities to connect even in the largest organizations. Our second nominee is BMO, or the Bank of Montreal, providing a wide range of services to the Canadian defense community. BMO is a direct partner of Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services, which provides programs that support CAF families, their CAF members, and provides a range of services and direct banking services for those families as well. And our third nominee for the Corporate Member of the Year Award is Bell. Nominated for their partnership with the True Patriot Love Foundation, Bell goes above and beyond their commitment to the IWSCC in procurement and networking opportunities by supporting veterans' mental health and their transition to civilian life, easing their stability and providing more opportunity for success in the future. And this year's winner of the first ever Evolve Forum Corporate Member of the Year Award is BMO. Although it may be straightforward to provide banking services, their partnership with CFMWS, contributes directly to Canadian veterans and their community by helping provide an invaluable resources, which is stability. Through their support, CAF members and their families can focus on their careers and their well-being, and when the time comes to retire from service, if they choose to, sets them up for success in their next venture. Congratulations to BMO. Similarly, we have a little message from BMO to share as well. On behalf of BMO, honored to receive this award, reflects our commitment to boldly grow the good by supporting veterans and their families, our customers, employees, and suppliers through listening, learning, and giving back. Thank you, IWSCC, for recognizing this journey, and thank you to BMO for being on that journey yourselves. And congratulations again on your win. Finally, last but certainly not least, our third award recognizes members of IWSCC's certified veteran-owned business community, not just for achieving success, but for turning that success into support for others. Our first nominee for the Certified Supplier of the Year is Fast Rescue, or FAST Rescue. Born from the idea of creating a business using the skills he learned in the military, veteran and founder Dean Turner built a business that teaches Canadians the skills needed to save lives, and has expanded to a national organization that upskills professionals and ensures the health and safety of Canada's workers from coast to coast. Our second nominee is Banco Creative Studio, full-service marketing firm based in Ontario. It was the IWSCC team's desire to recognize and celebrate Banco for their contributions to our own community. A relationship that has blossomed over several years. Banco supported the IWSCC both as a member and a consultant, helping us reach and support more business owners than ever, tapping into the incredible potential of Canada's veteran-owned business community. Our third nominee is a speaker that you saw earlier today, Stone Procurement Inc. While Igli, Xhango, and Stone Procurement may have just joined the IWSCC this year, Igli was immediately eager to do more than just network. He was excited to share his knowledge, his resources, and to build resources for peers in a group that he had just joined. His sincerity and willingness to share what he's learned without the expectation of receiving anything in return is emblematic of the traits that make veterans excellent business owners and is worth celebrating. So last, again, but certainly not least, I'm very pleased to announce that the winner of IWSCC's first ever Certified Supplier of the Year award, Fast Rescue. When Fast's founder, Dean Turner, isn't running the business, he is an advocate, innovator, and a supporter. Proud and active member of many organizations like Renos for Heroes or the vast veteran networking organization Treble Victor, Dean and Fast Rescue supports IWSCC's veteran-owned business community and well beyond. And we're very proud to recognize his efforts with the first ever Evolve Forum Certified Supplier of the Year award. And again, I'm happy to share a little bit of remarks from the Fast Rescue team who say, as a longtime IWSCC member, we're genuinely humbled to have Fast Rescue recognized for Certified Supplier of the Year. We've always believed that supporting the veteran community is simply part of who we are and how we do business, not something to be singled out or but to be celebrated. So to be celebrated in this way is truly an honor. This recognition really belongs to the whole team at Fast Rescue. They are the ones that show up every day with professionalism, with heart, and a steady commitment to service. And I'm proud of the work that they do for all of our clients and our community. Messages from Mr. Dean Turner himself. So congratulations again to all of our nominees and of course to the winners of the first ever Evolve Forum Awards. IWSCC started the Evolve Forum as a space to celebrate and to recognize this incredible community. And I do hope that all the fine folks in the audience take that spirit forward and celebrate the veteran-owned businesses in their communities too. So unfortunately, as we're coming close to the end of our program, that'll be all from me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your host and your guide along at the third annual Evolve Forum. This Natural Entrepreneurship Forum is dedicated to celebrating our community and beyond. So I hope that we've done that today. And I encourage everyone in our audience to consider how they can support and celebrate their community. As I hand things back to Mr. Brad Broman, our Managing Director, to close us out, I also would just like to wish you all a very happy holiday season and a happy new year. And I hope to see you again next year, the fourth Evolve Forum. Thanks very much. Brad, the floor is yours.
And bringing the group together. The team here at IWSCC is small but mighty, and this is a good example of that effort that goes into putting on an event like this. Thank you again. I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes with some announcements that were either reminders or things that we're working on in the upcoming year that we'll have more information as we go. But we just wanted to give a shout out to a few things that we're working on. Number one, I want to remind people that our referral program, which we introduced last year, is still going. And if you don't remember how that works, if you're a supplier and you refer a new supplier to us and they get certified, you will receive your next year's membership in IWSCC for free. So there's an incentive for the referral and then an incentive for us to work with more and more suppliers. The second thing I wanted to remind people about is our community contributor program. Again, it's an incentive to get more engaged in the community, submit newsletters or blog posts or other kinds of communication that will benefit our community. So working with Alex and on the marketing side, we will take your content, and there are on our website, there's more information about the benefits of being part of that program. A couple of other announcements I wanted to make. One is that IWSCC, in partnership with Certified Disabled-Owned Business Adaptability Canada, have been working on a research project that's been funded by the federal government. This project is looking at invisible disabilities in the workplace. So adding in how to accommodate for a broader array of disabilities in the workplace. That project is coming to a close, and the report will be issued sometime at the end of this calendar year or early in 2026. But there's some really interesting findings from that I think all of our members and the corporate members will be interested in hearing about. Lastly, I wanted to update everybody on our efforts with two diverse suppliers, Adaptability Canada again, and Prompt AI, a certified supplier from the LGBTQ plus community, on a software platform called Diversity Match. Diversity Match is intended to assist all of the members of any supply council to better connect with corporate members. So you'll hear more about that. We're right now in a pilot project with PwC, and we're looking for other corporate members to join us in those pilot projects to work out the kinks on the software so that it can be ready for prime time early in 2026. This is a really exciting development in our community. The access to this platform will be free for all suppliers who are certified, whether it's through IWSCC or any other supply council. And you will have access, or better access, we believe, to opportunities that fit with your profile as a small, medium-sized business, and will be intended to help you in that respect. So it's an additional value-added benefit of being a member of IWSCC. Lastly, I want to thank not just our team, the team at Bell, but also our ASL interpreter, Valerie, who's been incredible today, as well as Jared from ShowStream, who was our tech support for this and helped us to put on a really, really exciting event and have all the technical parts work really well. So again, thank you to everybody that was part of this forum. Our guest speakers, they were incredible. People that shared their vulnerabilities, their successes, and their desire to continue to be open to education themselves. I think that's the key to all of us succeeding, is to be open to learning more and learning better. Again, on behalf of IWSCC, the third annual Evolve Forum will take it to a finish with a couple of minutes to spare. Thank you again for all of your help and commitment to our cause and our mission, and we'll see you in the coming year. Bye now.